We have been talking to 4 deaf and hard of hearing students from the same Santa Clara County program. They say what's happening to them in high school is impacting the rest of their lives. These photos and videos show what could be at any high school, kids on their phones. But twins Leah and Mina Porit say for deaf and hard of hearing students at Lee High School, this hanging around and not learning plays out too often. They had this substitute teacher for 2 years. They say they couldn't learn from him because he didn't know sign language.
Having no teacher is like no support, no education.
With the substitute, Leah says she was often forced to interpret, and it compromised her education.
It wasn't fair because we are not interpreters, we're students who wants to learn.
Leah and Mina reached out to the investigative unit after seeing our report on their classmate Ibrahim.
They tell investigative reporter Candice Nguyen the diplomas and a new push for inclusion is leaving them behind.
He was given a diploma in June, even though he says he could only read at a 2nd, 3rd grade level.
Thinking what I'm going to do for my life.
According to federal law, students with disabilities are supposed to receive free, appropriate public education from birth to age 21. Despite Ibrahim's learning challenges and documented protests from his mother, the Santa Clara County Office of Education, which operates the deaf program, said he earned his diploma. And because he graduated, the county said Ibrahim is not eligible for free post-high school vocational education. Robbie Flores says he experienced the same thing. Additional work training, he says, is critical when college isn't an option.
I want to learn English, but I think they're going to call me dumb, but I don't care.
Robbie's mother signed his IEP, or Independent Education Plan, his senior year, agreeing to let the county give him a diploma. She says she didn't know that would disqualify him from post-high school education.
I signed the IEP thinking they knew what was good for him.
Do you regret signing it?
I do.
Why?
Because I think I let my kid down.
By signing the IEP.
And not understanding what I was signing.
The Santa Clara County Office of Education sent us a statement saying they are collaborating with families to ensure the young adults receive the support they need. They wouldn't answer our question about deaf and hard of hearing students, saying for 2 years they had a substitute teacher who couldn't sign. But last year, their special education director acknowledged staffing issues with interpreters.
We are not the only program facing this need, but that doesn't mean we are not tackling it with every single angle that we can.
These students wonder, how are they supposed to succeed in school and learn for their future when their schools don't have some of the most basic resources to teach them?
In California, we're not providing the structure and the funding necessary to implement a lot of our aggressive goals.
Troy Flint is with the California School Board Association, representing school districts and offices of education across the state. He says the problem with special ed resources comes down to the federal government failing on its promise decades ago.
The promise at that time was the federal government would pay for 40% of these local expenses. In reality, in California, the federal government contribution is funding maybe about 8%.
We reached out to the U.S. Department of Education. A spokesperson said funding is set by Congress. With the finger pointing, budget shortfalls, and silence from some local leaders, these students say they're paying the price. For months, they voiced their concerns at board meetings.
We should not be at 3rd grade level at high school. I am stressed about my future and depressed.
Leah and Mina are now in private college. For the first time, they say, they're learning what they should have learned in high school.
I thought I can't do it until I entered college. I'm able to learn math and English, and that is special.
But they worry about their classmates, who they grew up with, who aren't going to college.
We had to fight this because we knew this is not right.
At a board meeting last week, Ibrahim and Robbie said their cases with the County Office of Education are moving forward. They are hopeful under the interim superintendent they'll reach a resolution. Their fight isn't over, they say. They worry about the education of future students in the county's deaf program. Candice Nguyen, NBC Bay Area. We investigate.